Hello, everybody. Boy, is it windy out there today. And it doesn't seem to matter what's on my goal list today. I'm not getting much of it done because my higher self is just coming through with all these messages. So I just started to take a walk and something was like, can you go back home and just do this video? And I was like, what? So anyway, here I am. So here is some more food for thought, some messages for you to just allow to bounce around in there. So, your thoughts, creating your feelings, creating your emotions, are not just housed in just your physical body, having an effect on your physical body. It's also in your energetic body. Thoughts, feelings, emotions are all here, even if you don't express them here. So since everything is energy, you have a thought, you have a feeling, if it evokes an emotion or not, it's all here. And energy goes everywhere. So that's why I'll do videos about the importance of when a thought comes in, if it's an old pattern or doesn't serve you, stop. Ask, is this thought the best thought I could have for this particular whatever? And if it is not, cancel, alt, delete, dissolve, create a new thought, and allow it then to process through. So now it's all here. So, my mom used to always teach us, if you don't have anything nice to say nothing. And I would have to agree for a couple reasons. One, it's already here without here, right? When you add to, say, a denser thought, feeling, emotion, energy, and it's here, now you're going to hear, you amplify it, no matter what it is. And sometimes you're amplifying it with rocket fuel and a butane lighter. And you can see a lot of that happening in the last 15 months. And every time you discuss and talk and roll around these thoughts with yourself one-on-one, someone else within a group, now they have it here, and it's going out there. So just take a breath on that one. Whether you were by yourself or in the presence of others, your thoughts and energies are all out here before you hear. Think before you speak, because as soon as you start doing this, you're amplifying the energy of all of this, and it expands out. So if it's a negative, denser, filler conversation, that's what you're putting out there. So if you could think with this thought coming in, You change it, bring it through, have it here, meet others that you can vibrate with this lighter, more vibrational, uplifting, be in service of all, kindness, compassion, here, and expanding that out. Imagine the power that you could have to change things. Now, the other thing you have to ask yourself is when a thought comes in, knowing that energy is all here and it all goes out there, right? If a thought comes in, is it your thought? Is it your thought? Or is it in the top 10 of your thoughts? Where is it in order of the top 10? And then how much energy are you going to give that thought depending on where it is in the top 10 thoughts? But again, you have control of your energy dial through your thought system. Your thoughts don't have to own you in a way that they control you and how you're going to respond to them. You have the opportunity to erase them, dissolve them, create high vibrational thoughts that then go into higher vibrational feelings and emotion, energy in motion. It's all here anyway, and now that's going out there. So I live in an area where there's a lot of thoughts, a lot of dense thoughts, a lot of fear. And for someone who will not live in that environment energetically, but I do physically. So for me, it can be a very daily chore to keep myself aligned, and that requires walks in nature. That requires me stepping away from all of this, electronics. That prevents me from taking in too much of other people's information, even if I chose to take it in. So even with myself walking around out there, energy's flying around just like this crazy wind. You don't see wind, you feel it. But sometimes with the energies, you're not feeling it. Or you may not be tapped in and aligned enough to feel it, whereas I do. So you could walk by an outdoor cafe and you can tell just by walking by the vibration of the majority of that crowd. And since we're in the climate that we're in the last 15 months, I don't walk anywhere without pre-sending energy and light and the golden ray of the Christed consciousness, which is the highest formation of all of us, part of the Creator, the divine source that we are all one of. So instead of waiting for something to boom, because it will, but before it hits physically, it can hit like just like that. It's like a pouncing punch, depending on where you are. I will all around me and all to where I'm going. And I played with this again recently because I was in one state and then I had to go to another state for a few days. And so as an observer and a skilled empath, meaning I have it under control where it is used as a tool, a learning tool, and a living tool versus something that takes me over. Because I've skilled it, honed it in by practicing with it all my entire life, even when people had no idea what I was doing and I didn't have the vocabulary to even explain it, nor would it have been acceptable in the environment in which I grew up. So I'm in this other state and I will just measure the energy just by feeling it, just by feeling it. And it was less threatening, less fear in that environment that I happened to be in. So I didn't have to do as much work. Conscious, intentional, heart space work on the environment in which I had to walk. But I still extended out the Christed consciousness and the love and the compassion and the kindness through emanating my own energy, through my thoughts, my feelings, my heart. I always knew I was odd, and people love to take the time to share that with me throughout my life. And when I was thinking about this video and having to walk back home, I wasn't mad because I can go back out. They showed me another vision, and it was junior, senior in high school, and we're studying all the Shakespearean stuff. And I've read it the night before. I have no clue. Get into class, it's in a discussion, and I'll hear a few people just put into their own words what they thought this particular scene meant. And I remember sitting there and absolutely not even understanding a word of what I read and not quite understanding their description of what they read. And of course, 11th and 12th grade, you have such a broad vocabulary. So I myself went into feelings of, why do I not understand? I mean, I literally just do not understand it. It is like a foreign language for the first time, and I can't decipher it. But I didn't get mad at myself. I just allowed myself to be in the presence of language that I didn't understand. So instead of creating an energy of, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, it was, I don't understand this, let me just be in it. So I didn't get anxiety and knots in my stomach. I don't think I did very well on my tests, but who cares at this point? But it was a valuable learning experience for me to read the energy in the room and the expectations of the energy in the room through the thought we were given to decipher another language description of some plays. And that was a real learning thing for me, but I didn't even recognize it as a learning thing until many, many years ago. And then again, walking back home today, the impact of words, the impact of the thought that it creates and the impact that it has on your body. And then it goes back to the same thing I've been saying, is that you have control of your dial and what thoughts come in and how you're going to feel. It is your choice. It isn't, I'm pissed off all day long because I got run off the road and I'm late for work, or this happened or that. It was somebody else's fault that I spilt something and blah, 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 blah. That doesn't fly, because you have to take responsibility. And victimism is something that you decide if you're going to own or not. So, and again, it's all about the thoughts that create your reality and your perception, creating your feelings, creating your emotions, etc. So when you're out there, after watching this video, pay attention to what thoughts come to mind. And be with that thought before you allow it to process deep into the tissues and stay in the energy field too long. And ask, is this my thought? Is what I'm sensing here mine? Or is it from the collective around me? And maybe around them and around them and around them. It could be echoing from another planet and from another continent. depending on how powerful those thoughts have been fed, to be spun and whipped around like the wind today. Stand in your own presence, tap into your own heart, control your thoughts before you allow them to go back out. So I know that there's situations where we can't get away from. We're at a table and everyone's talking about a topic that you really don't want to talk about, but you wind up talking about it a little bit because you don't want to sit there staring at everybody. But you know what? I do sometimes, because I just can't let the vibration come out of my mouth, and I want to spend time on cooling down what's happening here, because it's unfair of me to take what's happening here from a conversation at this dinner table out there, because all I'm doing is amplifying that crap. So it is my responsibility to clean my energy. Know that those were conversations that I wasn't going to join in on and amplify, so I don't take those with me. And then in cleaning my energy, I say, gosh, thank you. Whew, that was intense. I forgive myself. I love myself. And I love others as much as I love myself, if not more. So I want to just douse this with golden energy, and then Saint Germain and the violet flame. Let it come in and transmute. So if it's transmuted, it's dissolved. So it's not out there bouncing around like the wind in energy fields, so that someone else is walking by going, whoa, what just hit me here? Why am I irritated and agitated? Because you just picked up somebody else's crap because they didn't take responsibility to clean it. So I get a little fired about that, because that's one thing that I was self-taught many decades ago. Okay, so these are wisdom lines, all right, folks? So I learned through my feeling experiences, and I allow the feelings to come back. I can even process through here, and then allow the energies to come in and to help douse that. I'm either going to amplify it and spread it out because it's so uplifting, or it's come to me and it's dense and I want to clean it. Clean it. Which is what I do before I walk into a building, get into my car, walk into friends' houses, prepare for a client. I clean and douse and offer forgiveness and love, so that I'm fully present with nobody else's attachments on me. So that when I'm with you, it's just you and me. And then all of this isn't allowing anything else to come in that isn't for my highest good. So if something sneaks in there and I start getting agitated, I'm like, I wasn't paying attention. I got busy with my day. Let me stop now. Cleanse this off. Take those thoughts. Saint Germain, the violet flame, please dissolve them. Poof! Christ consciousness golden ray. It's a new step forward. Think about it. Re-listen to this. If you have questions, leave me a message.